It's time for us now to take a look into branches. Now, branches are one of the most useful Git features that you'll make use of during your time working with Git. What a branch essentially does is it allows you to make changes to the code base that are isolated to one specific place. You can then change the branch back over to something like master, and the change will basically be gone. But the change isn't gone forever, it's just not there on the branch. Now this works a lot better if I give you a demonstration. So if we fire up our terminal, you'll notice that I've actually changed this since the last video. Don't worry about it, I just installed ZSH. I decided I was going to weaken and install it at last. So where we are now, we're on the master branch. If we do git branch, we can see that master is the only branch that's available to us, and it's got an asterisk next to it, which means that that's the branch that we're on. If we want to change branches now, we can do git checkout -b for branch, and then we need to put a name in. So I'm going to call this one feature/name styling. And we'll see now that Git is telling us that we've switched over to a new branch called feature/name styling. If we do git branch, it'll show us that we've got two branches. We've got master and feature name styling. And you see that the asterisk has now moved. It's next to feature name styling. So that's the branch that we're on. Now I can give you a demonstration about why branches are so useful. So if we close our terminal, and now I've decided that I want this name in all uppercase. So whenever it shows this name in the console, I want it to display it in uppercase just for stylistic effect. I want it to have impact. So I'm going to change this now. So I'm going to do name to uppercase. And there we go. So that's our change. We're just going to assume that this works. Now if we open our terminal again, just clear this output. If we do a git status, see that we've got the change to index.js. If we run git diff, we can see there's our change. We've capitalized the name now on the output. So we might as well add this. So if we do git status, we'll do git add. I'm going to do -u, which will add all the new, all the files that are already tracked that have changes. It'll add all of those. If we check git status, see that we've got the file. It's committed now. Well, it's staged rather. It's ready to be committed. So if we do git commit -m uppercase name on output, and we'll see that that's been committed now. There's our new commit. So we'll check the status and we'll see that there's nothing to commit now. This tree is clean. But now let's go back to master. So we'll do git checkout master. And if we close the terminal and we have a look at the code, we'll see that that change is actually gone. Now, like I said, this doesn't mean that the change is lost. It just means that the change isn't on this branch. So if we have a look at git log, we'll see that the branch, the commit that we just made for the changes that uppercase the name on the output are no longer there. That's because those particular changes are not on this branch. But if we check out feature name styling and we have a look in the git log, see that there's another commit there. And if you have a look at the pointers, the location pointers, you'll see that the head on this branch is actually further along than it is on master. So this is where master is right now. That's at the last commit, which was at the end of the last video where we fixed the merge conflicts. And this is the commit that we've just made on this separate branch. So hopefully that's all clicked now, and you can see why branches are so useful. They allow you to make changes that don't affect other areas of the code base, other branches. One of the main things that I use branches for is for trying out new features, testing things. Say I want to work on a feature which is going to take a long time, but I'm going to do it in between bits of, more immediate work that I have to do now. I'll make a branch and I'll start working on that feature. And when I have to go back to something more immediate that's come up, I'll switch off that branch and onto another new branch from somewhere else. And then I'll start working on the more immediate work, and I'll just go back to that branch later to carry on working on that feature. So if we close the git log now, and just clear the output, I'm going to show you one of the quirks of making branches. This is one thing that you need to watch for. If I make a new branch now, so I'm going to call this one git checkout -b feature name, replace. And then if I close the terminal, you'll see that that change is still there. And why is that change still there? Well, that's because I made my new branch from my feature branch and not from master. When you create a new branch, it splits off from the history of where you were when you created the branch. So for instance, if I check out master, we'll see that that change is now gone. If I make a new branch here, so if I want to call this one git checkout -b feature name removal or something, we'll see that that change is still not there. And if we have a look at the log for this branch, we'll see that we're still even with master. We've not actually moved forwards from master. So when you create a branch, make sure you choose the right origin to branch off from. Ideally, the way that you want to do that is you want to get maybe your master or your develop branch, you want to get that in sync with your remote on GitHub or wherever you've got it, and then you want to make branches off of that. It does get quite complicated at times, but stick with it, you'll get the hang of it. So now we've got a ton of branches that we don't actually need. So let's just clear this and we'll have a look at git branch. Which ones can we get rid of? We can get rid of removal and we can get rid of replace because we've not made any changes on those. So first of all, I'm going to check out master, and then I'm going to do git branch -d, capital D, because that will force the deletion. If you use a lowercase d, it'll check to see if the branch has been merged and it can be safely deleted. But we don't actually care if the branch has been if the branch can be safely deleted rather, because we just want it gone. So do git branch -d, feature name removal, and we'll put the other one in here as well, feature name replace. You see that that's removed those two branches. If we check git branch, we're back to just two. So now let's say that we're totally happy with the changes that are on feature name styling. They've been signed off, everyone's really happy with it, they really want it to go into production now. Because why wouldn't they? We've just written a masterpiece of code here. So if we close the git log, clear the output, when you want to bring two branches together again, you use a merge. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking the changes that have been made to our new branch and we're going to merge them into our existing branch. And there's a few different ways you can do this. The simplest one, of course, is to do git merge, and then I can't remember the name of the branch, name styling. So we do git merge, and then the name of the branch. So it's feature/name styling. And what we'll see now is that this branch is being fast forwarded. Now this is just a git term which is used most commonly when it's brought your branch up to date with the newest branch. There's a lot more involved in it than just that, but it'll run the video long by like 30 minutes. So I'm going to leave it out for now, but I'll leave a link in the description which explains what a fast forward actually is and why it's useful. But for now, all we need to know is that that branch was successfully merged. So if we do git log, we'll see that there's the commit that was on the name styling branch. And if we look at the location pointers, we'll see that master and feature name styling are both the same. And if we close this and we have a look at the git status, we'll see that we're ahead of our remote now on GitHub by one commit. So what we need to do now, we need to push this change up. So we'll just do a quick git push. And then of course, just like we normally do, we'll go have a look on GitHub just to make sure. We'll just sanity check everything. And we'll see there it is, uppercase name on output. This was the commit that we just made to the feature styling branch, and this is now in the master branch. Good job. And now I think it's worth showing you what happens when there's multiple commits on a new branch that you're trying to merge in. So we'll go back to VS Code and we'll create ourselves a new branch. In fact, we've already merged in the branch, the feature name styling, so we can do git branch -d, lowercase d, feature/name styling. And now that's removed successfully. So we'll clear this, we'll do git checkout -b, feature name changes, and we'll start making a couple of other changes to this. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of when we actually made the console log. So I'm going to do const date equals new date, and I'm going to save this file, open my terminal again, I'm going to do a git status, and I'm going to add this file, and I'm going to commit this change. Added a date object, and there we go, that's one commit. And then I'm not happy with this spacing here, so I'm going to add a new line between the variables and the console log, and then I'm going to commit this change as well. Just for the record, this isn't particularly good Git practice, committing changes that are this granular, but I'm just doing it to demonstrate how this is going to work. So I'm going to add this file as well, and I'm going to commit this, so add spacing between variables and console log, and then I'm going to make another change. So I'm going to add the date. This was logged on, and I'm going to do date.getTime. And there we go. I'm happy with this now. I think that this is a lot better than it was before. There's so much functionality in here, it's great. So I'm going to open my terminal, I'll just do a git status, and I can see that there's another change to index.js. There's the change I was expecting to see. So I'm going to add the index.js, and I'm going to commit that, add date stamp to console log. So now, if I have a look at the git status, we can see that we're all clean, that there's nothing to commit now. All we have to do now is push this up to the remote. And don't forget that this branch doesn't exist on GitHub yet, so we need to do git push -u origin feature / name changes, and this change will be pushed up to GitHub now. We can see that in the output there that there's a new branch that was created on the remote for feature name changes. Okay, so that's all good and well. So now what we need to do is we need to merge this branch back into master, because once again the client has signed off on this, they're really happy with it. So we're going to move over to master, and we're going to do git merge feature / name changes, and we'll see that it's fast forwarded. If we have a look at the git log, we can see these are the 3 new commits that we made on the feature name changes branch. But the problem here is that there's these 3 commits. We don't actually want 3 commits because we're not particularly interested in what exactly changed. We're just interested in the fact that a branch was merged, which is how you'll usually see it done in large projects. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this back to where it was. So I'm going to copy the commit hash here, and I'm going to do git reset. I'm going to put that hash in --hard. And what this will do now is that has moved me back to where I was before I did the merge. So if we have a look in the git log, we can see that that's the last commit that we made on master. That's where the remote is. That's where we are. That's where we want to be. So we'll close this now. We'll do a clear. And we've still got our branch. So we've still got feature name changes. So I'm going to do git merge again, feature / name changes. But instead of just leaving it there, I'm going to do --squash. Now what this will do is, rather than just pulling all of those commits into our branch, this will pull all of the changes into our branch, and it'll leave the history on the other branch. So if we have a look at the git status, we can see that there's some changes to index.js, but if we have a look at the git log, we'll see that there's no new commits. We're still where we were. It's just now that we've got the changes, just not the commits. So what we can do now, because we've got these changes, we can just commit these like any other set of changes. So I'm going to do git commit m merged branch feature name changes into master. If we have a look at the log, see, there we go. There's our merge branch commit that we've just made. And if we have a look at the git status, we'll see that we're clean and we're ahead by 1 commit. And a final sanity check, if we close our terminal and we have a look at the code, the changes are still there that we made on the other branch, just not the 3 commits, because we're not interested in those 3 commits. We're just interested in what changed in the code. So now all we need to do, of course, is push this up. We'll do a quick sanity check there. So we'll have a quick look at GitHub. And this should tell us that there's some changes here. Yep, so there's our latest commit. Merge branch, feature name changes into master. And there's the name changes branch because we pushed up that branch as well. The other big advantage to using branches is you can actually push these up to GitHub. So there's the name changes branch. And you can have a look through the changes that have been made on the individual branch. Now, because this is getting a little bit conceptual, it gets a little bit too far away from the point, I'm going to show you a practical example of how I use branches. So this is the Angular client for the End-Study site that hopefully you're watching this video on right now. And you can see if I have a look in the branches there, I've got a couple of them. So I've got develop, I've got master, and then I've got this feature admin panel branch. So the last change that I made to develop was I restyled the registration component. But if I have a look at the admin panel, we can see that the newest change there was add the metadata admin panel page. So what I'm essentially doing here is I'm building out a section of the site which doesn't need to go straight into production. It's not going to be ready to go into production for a while, but it does still need to be worked on. Branches here allow me to work on this section of the site without affecting the rest of the site until the bit that I'm working on is actually ready. You will get a feel for branches the more that you use them. It is quite complex to get your head around in the beginning. remembering to branch off from the correct places and remembering to merge your branches. It does get quite complicated, but trust me, you do get a feel for it, and it is an incredibly powerful feature.